Okay, so here we are. We have found our energy exchange of the day. We have our doubt. We don't really need the doubt anymore. No, we definitely don't need the doubt anymore. And now we're going to look at how we can draw in awareness, open ourselves up to this awareness, clear any blocks to our awareness. And again, finding the root of that doubt. I am going to take one sip of my coffee first. Field and Stream. It's got a dog on it that looks very much like my Rosie girl. I also have one with a duck on it, and as y'all know from my duck sweater, I love a good mallard duck. I love a mallard duck. So, okay, here we go. So we're gonna look at, let's go first to the root. Let's go to the root of this doubt and say, what might be going on here? What's with this doubt? What is going on? So we just go to the charts. Again, first we say spirit and the collective and I are one. We work together as a team. Yeah, that feels good just to say that. And we're asking to be clear, neutral conduits of our essence. So I'm not just here by myself today. I'm doing this with you. I'm tapping into the collective consciousness that we all share, the oneness that we all share. That is what we are reading. That's what we're looking at. And hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm being kind of quiet today because my roomie is still sleeping. So, okay, so we are going to go to our charts, as you can see, and we're just going to say, what is the root of this doubt? What is the root of this doubt? So what are we looking at here? What is causing it? What is the root of this? 6C, which is a newer chart that was added to spiritual response technique after the original 36-ish that I had told you all about. So 6C is some additional icky energies and like not the best kind of stuff, right? Oh no, unloved is the energy that came up. Sometimes this stuff, I make these faces or I have these expressions or these reactions because it moves me. I'm definitely a bit of an empath and I feel things. Pisces rising over here. Yeah, with a whole lot of water in my chart. And so, yeah, when unloved comes up, like I immediately feel like, oh yeah, we are filled with doubt because we feel unloved. When you feel loved, you don't have a lot of space for doubt. When you feel loved, there's not a lot of room for doubting yourself because love is filling up the spaces where that doubt normally lives. Oh, and so we're just asking for any old programming, any old stories that told us that we were unloved to be cleared now, any past lives that we have experienced where we really were unloved and we've carried that energy with us. We're clearing that now. Is there anything else we can do to open the collective up to love? How maybe that's part of how we clear the doubt, is opening ourselves up to love. So what percent open is the collective to love? 0%. Okay. So let's get ourselves open to love. How about that? I didn't think this was going in that direction, but this is suddenly becoming a love clearing. Okay, what can we do to clear ourselves, open ourselves up to love? Blocks and interferences has just come up, so we're going to look at blocks and interferences. What's going on here? Appeasement. Oh, this came up the other day when we're trying to people please. Oh, yeah. Okay, so our appeasement of others is blocking us to true love. How many people are staying in relationships where they feel unwanted and unloved because they're just trying to appease someone? How many people right now are feeling like the relationship that they have is better than being alone, even though being alone may open them up to true love, but it is more comfortable to do what they're doing right now, which is appeasing in some type of a relationship or some type of a dynamic. Even if this is a family dynamic that is holding you back from spending time with new people or meeting new people. So we're just clearing everyone of that energy of appeasement, the patterns of appeasement, any contracts, vows, curses around appeasement. We clear those now. Ooh, dissolved, disintegrated, and released. And when I say that, I really want you to imagine, when I say dissolved, disintegrated, and released, I want you to see any ropes, any binding, any cording that was holding you hostage to appeasement, literally being dissolved, and you're being released from that. And now I want you to ask yourself, okay, what do I do with myself now that I'm no longer bound to appeasement? Now that Kate has said dissolved, disintegrated, released, again, we're pretending this is real and acting as if this is real. So then we can say, now what are my actions? Now that Kate has said those words and spirit has cleared it, what do I do? Who am I when I'm no longer just trying to appease other people? Can I feel the love of those that would love me exactly as I am? Ooh, if I stop appeasing, because that's true love. You know, I think we all know that the love that we have just because we've appeased somebody is not real love. You know, and that's not on them necessarily, that's on us, but we've blocked ourselves from truly being loved for ourselves when we're just appeasing and, you know, acting as if we're a certain way that we're really not. Okay, so chart 23 has come up. Clearing, again, we're clearing anything that is preventing us from being open to love, daily accumulation of discordant energy. We're just saying, spirit, clear it. Any accumulation of the ick. Any accumulation of the ick that is preventing us from feeling open to love. All right, what do we got on this chart? Conscious mind programming type 2. So again, this is in this conscious mind, and we're just saying anything that's in this conscious mind, the awareness, all of the stories, all of the inner thoughts, all of that dialogue that tells us that we are unlovable, unwanted. We're just asking for all of that to be cleared and for there to be this like boop, 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 boop. I'm just seeing like everything lining back up again in our conscious mind. It's like, oh wow, yeah, actually I'm the shit. I'm amazing. I'm so worthy of love. And if the people in my life right now don't see it, well, too bad. I know that I'm loved, and I will go find the people who can love me. So now what percent is the collective open to love? What percent is open to love? 100%. So we got us back open. What percent are we blocked to love? Right now, 0%. Love that. Okay, so let's go back and look at this doubt thing. So now have we cleared? I'm just gonna ask a yes or no. So again, this is my no, and then this is my yes, if it goes that way. And I obviously was showing you that. So yes or no, have we now cleared, what was I gonna say? It was something about, oh, the root. Have we cleared the root? So this is a yes for me, right? So we've cleared the root. Clear the root. And she's showing y'all very, very strongly right now that we have in fact cleared the root. So we found the root, we pulled it up, and we're like, goodbye, we don't need you. You are now in the compost pile. You can melt into the compost pile and turn into something beautiful, turn into the next big blossom of our lives. But right now, we didn't need you very deeply. We needed you revealed, we needed you resolved, we needed you released to go do your next thing, to go transform into something else. So we found the root, we pulled the root up. Now we're gonna say, let's look at the percentages of our blocks to awareness. Let's jump over to that. So what percent are we blocked to a new awareness? 100%. What percent are we open to a new awareness? 30%. Okay, so that's not bad. So first let's go to the blocks and then we'll go to the openness. And then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so what can we do to clear these blocks that are preventing us from our true awareness, a true awareness that would then clear away that doubt? Okay, what do we need to do here? 16, fall of consciousness. 16. Ooh, blocks to creation and grace. I always find it interesting that creation and grace on this petal are connected. This is the petal that got added to the chart, to chart 16. It wasn't always on chart 16. It got added at some point. I don't remember when. My amazing teacher, Jan Harris, JanHarris. Look her up, janharris.net. She could probably tell us when it got added, but blocks to creation and grace. I don't know why it's there, but I love it. It's like, in order to be a creator, it almost inherently ties creation, creative force, and grace together. And in this capacity, I feel like grace is the understanding that our creation doesn't have to be perfect. Grace and creation are connected here, and that the creator creates from a space of acceptance of whatever that creation turns into. whatever that creation is, even if it doesn't end up being the thing it had originally intended, it still accepts its creation. And even if that acceptance just means this is the piece of pottery that stays on the shelf and not the one that goes out for sale at the market, we still have grace for ourselves. We still have grace for our creation and saying it doesn't have to be perfect. So we're clearing any blocks to creation and grace, and specifically then, however and whatever way that was getting in the way of our awareness, blocking us our awareness. So makes me think then too, how is awareness connected to our creation? How is awareness connected to grace? And on some level, it's like, ooh, how graceful do I have to be with myself in order to accept whatever comes in with awareness? Can I accept the truth that comes in with awareness? Can I have grace for what is going to come in with that awareness? And am I ready to be the creator that creates from a space of awareness? And again, these are all just questions to ask yourself. No judgment, no whatever, no, I try really hard not to say do this, don't do that, but just have you think about these things. This is, SRT for me is about awareness. It's about shining a light on things, researching, discovering, shining a light on it, so that then you can think about it and, you know, maybe make some choices based off of it. Hopefully better choices that are in your highest good. Ooh, I just had a weird memory flashback up in my mind. What is that memory from, and why is that coming up right now? It was from when I was really small and I was at some sort of a weird event. Why was I at that event? Huh. Okay, we're gonna think about why that came up. Sorry, y'all. Didn't mean to just do a teaser, but we're clearing, rebuilding, and mirror images. So, you know, here's what I imagine is that here's our souls, and here's Kate doing this work. Here's you doing this work with me. We're starting to break down all of these blocks. And yet there's a part of our conscious mind that's like, oh, no, I don't want this awareness. This awareness is too scary. Let me build the blocks back up. Let me rebuild those blocks. Let me restart that programming in my conscious mind so that I don't actually have to have awareness. Because once I get that awareness, the gig is up. The gig is up. I can no longer be ignorant. I can no longer be in doubt. And sometimes we allow our doubt to protect us. We allow our doubt to be the reason why we don't, you know, quit our job and take that new job. Why we don't put ourselves out there and ask that person out that we've had a crush on. Why we don't make the big move that we've wanted to make. It's our doubt. But that keeps us safe because we get to be comfortable doing the thing we know, doing the thing that we are comfortable with. And so that is why many of us just like to repeat the same patterns over and over and over again, because it feels safe. It feels safe and it feels more comfortable. It feels more secure. And we love security. We love security. Humans have this crazy thing that other creatures don't have, which is an awareness of our own mortality. We think we're probably some of the only, you know, conscious beings that are that aware of our own mortality and that have such an intense survival instinct. Not that all creatures don't have a survival instinct, because I think they do, but we just have like, we have such a level of emotional awareness or self-awareness that then it becomes like existential dread. You know, we get existential with it. We start putting meaning on it. It's beyond just like, oh, I am a living thing that wants to survive, and it becomes, oh, I am a living thing that must survive, because now if I don't survive, I am filled with fear and dread and agony and, you know, fill in the blanks. So security is really important to us, to the point where sometimes we actually do things that are not in our highest good in order to maintain security. And I'm not saying that's always bad. It is good to be secure sometimes and to make good choices that keep us secure. And in this particular reading, it's saying that is blocking you from awareness, and it is fueling your doubt, and we're releasing that, and we're releasing our ability to recreate those mirror images of that doubt and those blocks. So now what percent is the collective blocked to, now that we've cleared those things, what percent is the collective now blocked to awareness? 10%. 10% blocked. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the charts and say, what can we do to clear that final percent, that final 10% block? We're going to reboot our clearing anything that can be cleared without research. We are going to, that's what just came up on the chart in part. Oh, higher level issues by 1. These are the important lessons that we must be experienced before we return to spirit. So we're just saying, we got it. Okay, cool. Like, lesson learned. Can we download the lesson? It's interesting because I had said something the other day about how I always needed to learn the lessons the hard way. And, you know, that's a really unhelpful belief, because then you start playing that out. You start playing out that story, and then that's what that becomes. Your lessons have to end up being hard, and you have to go through really crappy things to learn the lesson. And so I would encourage everybody to be cautious with that language, and to really start saying as a mantra, I learn and ease. I learn through positive as well as negative experiences. We can learn through positive experiences. We can learn through joy. We can learn through true awareness and acceptance. We don't have to just learn the hard way. And if you want to say that with me now, or say, yes, I can learn things the easy way. We can learn things the easy way. Okay, now what percent are we blocked to our awareness? 0%. And now what percent are we open to our awareness? Now we're at 65% open. So let's go for that. So what else can we do to get us fully open to our awareness? Fully open to our awareness. Chart 10A. What can we do here to fully open us up to our awareness? We're clearing toxic streams. We're filling them with love, light, locking and sealing them so that they cannot just keep being filled with ick. Toxic streams are just, we talked about it before. I just like to look at it as like literally like a river, except it's an energetic river that you can get sucked into, and that river is just filled with muck and uck, and it comes from a different place, though I think humans' thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever can fill it up. But it doesn't start and end in this realm. It doesn't start and end on like planet Earth. It's multidimensional. Ooh, enlightenment through challenges, that just came up. Dysfunction of spirit by thought. So again, this is the belief that we can only learn through challenge. So we clear all of us from this belief that we can only learn through challenge. How interesting this is, that this is what's coming up. I love this. Okay, well, yeah, again, we just say we're clearing that. We don't need that. We can learn through anything. We can learn through anything. We can learn by watching Snow White. We can learn through watching Snow White. That was actually recommended to me by a very wise healer this week, that I needed to watch some Disney movies. Infinity streams, all of time, backwards and forwards. So we're clearing all of time, backwards and forwards. How fascinating this is. Isn't this fascinating? Don't you like, I like SRT. Do you guys like SRT? I like SRT. I find it fascinating. Oh, infinity streams backwards and forwards through all of time. I'm just seeing us as spiritual beings, us as like, you know, the magical little like consciousness light balls that we are, just going in through all of back and forth through time, and just like clearing some stuff up. We just need to clear up this energy from this, you know, war. We need to clear up this energy from the fall of this civilization. We just need to clear up this energy from this period of you know, horror and challenge and again doubt. So we're just clearing all of it as the little beautiful light beams that we are, traveling back and forth across time, which is what we get to do. We get to travel back and forth across time. Did you know that? It's true. It's true. Just because your current awareness is not picking that up, your current, like this version of your consciousness might not be picking up all of back and forth across time. It's just here, right here in this moment, doesn't mean that you are not doing that in another realm, in another parallel, in another lifetime. That's what I believe. Okay, now we're gonna ask, what percent are we open to our awareness? Ooh, we had to spin for a second. 75%. Okay, I think, okay, let's see how quickly we can take this to get done. Now, what is the final couple of things we need to do to open ourselves up to our awareness? This is an archetype, an inner archetype. The rebel. The rebel came up again. The rebel came up again. The rebel already came up this week for those of you who watch consistently. All right, so it's the rebel archetype, in balance or out of balance? It's out of balance. Is it running too low or too high? Too low. Too low. So we actually want to bring up our rebel archetype. Rebel, yeah. I mean, because I think part of the reason that we're lacking awareness is because of the programming and the patterning and the looping that we get sucked into from this external world, this external society, from the powers that be. And so in order to really become aware, we must rebel against what we know. Ooh, I love that. In order to become truly aware, we must rebel against what we already know and open ourselves up to the unknown, the unseen, the unspoken, opening yourselves up to all your senses, you know. Yeah, all of your clairs, you know, your clairvoyance, your audience, is that what they call it? Yeah, our ability to see and feel and understand things that are still in darkness. Okay, awesome. Well, that's exciting. So now what percent are we open to our awareness? 100%. So we're going to do 100% of 100% of mop up, cleaning up every last little bit of muck, dust bunnies, you know, the dust things that we saw floating by earlier. We're cleaning all of that up on a spiritual level so that we can be ready for this day, ready to accept and embrace all of these replacement energies. So our replacement energies, this one was thoughtfulness. I saw that. So thoughtfulness, which is perfectly aligned with awareness. Loyalty. Hey, loyalty. Harmony. Thoughtfulness, loyalty, and harmony. Those are our replacement energies for today. Oh, let's just breathe that in for a second. Again, I'm just sort of letting my belly go, letting my chest go, letting my neck and jaw go back to like what we did when we were doing our energy exchange this morning, allowing this clearing to fully integrate, saying yes, saying amen, saying spirit, clear it, so be it. Whatever feels like a good closing sentiment for you as we release ourselves fully from that doubt, because we found the root, we destroyed it, and drawing in that awareness. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday, this 11/11 day, and we will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.